One of the things we regularly find when we're decluttering homes are gift cards. And of course, if you'd forgotten about it, it can feel like a lucky win. But if it's expired, it can feel like you wasted money and an opportunity. So today, we're going to delve into gift cards, giving them, receiving them, and organizing them.
You're listening to the Declutter Hub podcast, bringing you tried and tested, no-nonsense tips and advice from the leading experts in decluttering and organising your home. Now here are your hosts, Ingrid Jansen and Leslie Spellman.
Hello and welcome, listeners. I'm Ingrid.
And I'm Leslie.
If you're new to the Declutter Hub podcast, you're so welcome. What you'll find is that we try and find a fun factor in the serious business of decluttering. And if you've been here for a while, you know exactly what we mean. So thank you so much for listening.
If you'd like to get involved in conversations relating to this podcast, it all takes place in our Facebook group. So come and join our lovely, warm, supportive community. To find the Facebook group, go to declutterhub.com/group to find out more, or you can search for the Declutter Hub community on Facebook. Ingrid, before we get started, I'm sort of laughing, right? Because what the listeners have not heard is the 9 takes that it took you to get the intro right. So we're very, very bad, both of us, at anything scripted. The intro takes us longer than recording the rest of the podcast, doesn't it? We should just give up on doing the intro. Maybe get somebody else to do it. Maybe we need a voiceover artist like Kellogg to do all of the intros for us so we can jump straight into the podcast.
I know. I'm sorry. I was not on top of my game when I was recording. I just couldn't get it out properly. And we want to make sure that it sounds right, so you guys know what we're talking about. And for one reason, I just couldn't get it right. But anyway, gift cards it is today, but Leslie, but before we dive in, we've had some lovely reviews, haven't we?
Yeah, I thought it was really important to talk about, and I'll talk about this, Ingrid, because it's kind of related to the podcast that I did with my son Luke a few podcasts ago. And honestly, the feedback, the emails, the comments have been absolutely incredible on that podcast. So I want to thank each and every one of you, because I think it was very poignant for a lot of people for lots of different reasons. So it was podcast 247, and it was about my son, my eldest son, who's recently been diagnosed with ADHD, and it's going through his journey and also my journey with him getting diagnosed, if that makes sense. It was a very honest and open conversation. We had so much feedback from people who felt what we were feeling. We're very grateful that he was so open and honest about the things that he was feeling. So thank you so much if you sent a review. It was really nice to send them all on to Luke as well, so he's well aware of all the fantastic feedback that we've had. So let's read a couple of them out, Ingrid.
Yes, Joanna said, well done to Luke for sharing this. Hearing of people I know being diagnosed, so found this really open and honest and very well explained. And I have to actually agree. It was, I listened to it as well, of course. And I was like, oh, wow, he's so open and honest. And I think that resonated with a lot of people.
So Justina says as well, thank you so much for this podcast. It has helped me more than you will ever know. You're very welcome, Justina. That's exactly why we wanted to record that podcast.
Yes, Michelle reached out to us as well and says, thank you both so much for this very powerful podcast. It resonated so much with me and my son, whose journey has been similar to Luke, but still on the waiting list for support. Well done. Thanks, Michelle.
And then Sandra said, I think this was on LinkedIn, right, Ingrid? I am a regular listener to your podcast, Leslie, and completely resonated with the podcast with Luke. I shared the podcast with my son this week as he sounds so similar. I think this will help moving forward with the diagnosis. There are so many similarities with him growing up. Thank you for sharing your ADHD journey. So, and honestly, there were so many
I know
that we haven't even mentioned, and emails came into us. And so we were blown away as well. And obviously, because it's very personal to me, So yeah, thank you so much for sharing. It means a lot, honestly. Whatever podcast it is, if we get a comment or a review, it means a lot to us to know that you can make progress through the things that we're sharing. So keep them coming, and the best of luck to anybody who's going through an ADHD diagnosis of your own or with someone who is in your family or friends.
Yes, completely agree, Leslie. So I don't think we've ever had this many emails come in about, I mean, we normally get lots of love from our listeners, but this podcast kind of was blown out of the water. So yeah, I'm absolutely amazing. So thank you as well. And I've read everything as well. But of course, I know it really was special for Leslie and Luke. So thank you, listeners, for all of your wonderful replies to us and to our shout outs, for letting us know if the podcast changes you or your thinking or whatever you're doing in your life. So anyway, Leslie, let's move on with this podcast, gift cards. I mean, you've already made fun of me that I've made like 26 mistakes while I'm recording the intro, but I think we now need to really get cracking with this podcast, because gift cards, we call them gift cards. But when we Googled a little bit, just to make sure that we got the terminology right, we found out they're also called gift vouchers or gift certificates or gift tokens. So yes, I hope everybody now means what we talk about when we say gift cards.
I think gift token was like a 70s and 80s UK thing, gift token. I've not heard it called a gift token for a long time, but I did used to call it a gift token when I was growing up. And then gift voucher. I feel like it's morphed from gift token to gift voucher to gift card in the UK. Mm-hmm. And I think it's gift certificates, certainly in the US and probably other places around the world as well.
Maybe it's now called a gift card because now you kind of, the money gets put on some sort of credit card type of card.
Yeah, maybe.
That you can kind of easily put your wallet. Maybe that's why the terminal list changed. I mean, I don't know. So Leslie, let's be honest here. Do you like receiving a gift card from people?
Is there not only one answer? I'm like, well, what's the catch here? Like, are you saying that you don't like gift cards? I mean, I do, like putting it out there. Of course, like what's not to like about somebody giving you some money to spend on something? That's nice, right? Ingrid?
I'm really torn about this question, actually, because I don't really know then, I think, what to do with it. I mean, that sounds a bit crazy, but
here you go. Here's a hint. Spend it. There's the hint.
Yeah, but there's the problem. I never know what to spend it on. You know what I mean? So if you get a gift card from a shop that you never shop in, then suddenly you have to go to the shop and then buy stuff that you weren't intending on buying in the first place. And that's, I think, where my thinking already gets completely muddled. But of course, you know, if you get a gift card of something that you always shop, then it's helpful. But you see my problem? I mean, I don't like shopping it in the first place. So maybe that's where I go wrong.
Yeah, I think I could always find something in every shop. And that's the problem. And I guess that other people, because as everybody knows in this podcast, I do shop. I do declutter. I have a nice organized home, but I do like to shop. Ingrid is kind of the opposite. She doesn't really love. She can warm up to shopping, and when she does do it, she actually quite enjoys the fruits of her labor, to be fair. But she's not a pro shopper, which I would say that I definitely am. I'm a pro shopper. So I get you. Okay, I hear where you're coming from. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the fact that sometimes getting a gift voucher is almost like it's burning a hole in your pocket. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. And then you're almost forced to go to this shop that you suddenly got some money for, trying to buy items that you don't necessarily need. Okay,
so in the clutter world, then it's tricky and it's going to add to our clutter. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
You would like to think that people who do give you a gift card would possibly think about where a good place is to give you a gift card for, right?
True.
Yeah, true. So most people who are going to give you a gift are going to go, oh, Ingrid would like to go to this shop, for example. Yeah, so I hear. So most of the time it's not going to be an issue, but I do hear you that, you know, perhaps if you got too many gift cards for one place, or maybe it would just, I do get that feeling once you've got a gift card in your wallet, you do like, oh, I need to spend that. So it's not like normal money. You know, it's like you feel that you're obliged to spend it perhaps sooner or on something that you might not want at that time. So it's more about a timing thing, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, good point, good point. And I think as well, I think a gift card is really different than receiving cash, although it's both money. And because cash, you can kind of put in your wallet and then you suddenly are like, oh, I thought I had £50 or something in my wallet. And then it's gone because you spend it on little bits and bobs. Well, I think that's, I think, one of the pros of a gift card. Maybe you feel a little bit more like, oh, well, this was really given to me as a gift. So I'm going to treat myself a little bit and buy something that I want instead of it kind of going on bills or boring stuff like a pint of milk or something.
I think that would be the worst thing, really. Even if somebody gives you cash or a gift card, I think spending it on household essentials, unless that's what's going to really, really make you happy, is kind of a shame. So if you have got disposable income, I know there are a lot of people who don't, but if you do have disposable income, for it to just get frittered away amongst, you know, normal household expenditure is almost not the intention with which it was given, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think there's something, but it does still feel quite special and it feels quite indulgent. I think there's something about a gift card that perhaps has got a different psychology attached to it. So I hear what you're saying. So having jumped down your throat at not liking a gift card, I'm kind of coming back around to what you're saying.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay. So how do we end up with gift cards, Leslie? Because it's not only gifts that people give us, right? Cards that like in a with a birthday or a special occasion or something, people can give you a gift card instead of like hard, cold cash. But sometimes you also get a gift card because you have brought something back to a shop, but you can't really get your money back on it. But they will then give you a gift card to kind of buy something else. I mean, how smart are they?
Yeah, of course. And often when you return something to a shop, sometimes I can't even think of an example, but sometimes you end up with like £1.20 on a gift card or whatever. It doesn't say on the gift card how much it's worth. You forget about it and then you find it a little bit later and you go into a shop thinking, oh, I know that I've got a gift card from John Lewis or something, but you don't know whether it's got £1.20 or £12 on it or £120 if you're really, really lucky, but she probably wouldn't have £120 on there. But so you're kind of stabbing around in the dark a little bit. I'm going to talk after the break, aren't we, a little bit about how to declutter and organize gift cards.
Mm-hmm.
But the other way you can get gift cards as well quite often is that in reward schemes, people quite often change reward amounts into gift cards because you can kind of get triple points on gift cards. So you can get like triple the points if you spend it on a gift card and things like that. So we have got quite a lot of gift cards at the moment. So I think it's a nice thing to have. I think we're all about experiences, not stuff, if possible, aren't we, Ingrid? So even though I love a gift card and I could definitely find something to spend a gift card on, I think on balance, I would prefer a gift card or an experience gift rather than a stuff or a money gift. What about you?
For sure. For sure. I mean, you know, you once gifted me a lovely gift card to buy a meal for two online. And it was so enjoyable. And that because you know me and you know that I would love that. And you know that I love cooking and that I like to have a nice meal at my house. So it was like the perfect gift in the form of a gift card, but it was more an experience. And I really, really enjoyed it. So thank you again, Leslie, for your lovely gift. But I think then it meant something for me instead of the stuff that you then later declutter. It became an experience that I remembered.
I think there's something in it that if you give an experience, it's almost, even though if I gave you that dinner idea, that gift of that dinner for two, I almost felt connected to the dinner as well. Yeah. Whereas if I gave you, a voucher for Monsoon or something, I wouldn't necessarily feel connected to the dress. Does that make sense? That you would buy there. So I think it's interesting. I think there's a lot of interesting psychology with gift cards. Mm-hmm. I think what people are here for is to listen to how do we take control of gift cards. We talked about in the intro that if we find a gift card that we didn't know that we had and it's not expired, it feels like, woo, it's like finding £5 in your pocket, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? You feel so excited by finding money that you didn't know you had. Yeah. So let's go to a break and let's come back and talk about decluttering and organising gift cards so that doesn't happen, so that the gift cards don't expire on you and you just waste that money.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. So we're talking about gift cards, and we talked about really the emotions connected to gift cards before the break. But now we wanted to give you some solid organizing tips on how do you handle these gift cards and how can you prevent them from expiring? Because that, of course, is the worst thing. You find a gift card and you're like, oh, well, that expired last year. How often do we see that happening, Leslie?
We see a lot. And so I bet a lot of people are like, what are they actually talking about gift cards? Honestly, in a lot of homes that we see gift cards that have expired, or sometimes we find ones that have not expired. But we're always kind of surprised, I think, Ingrid, about the kind of lack of control over something that is effectively, the equivalent often is like £20, £50, something like that. And it's just throwing money away if you don't have a handle on that. And we want to make sure that there's a system in place to make sure that when the right time is to spend that gift card, that you can put your hands on it, that you know how much it is, and that it's readily available for you.
Yes. And interestingly, Leslie, when do we find these gift cards a lot? Where do we find them? In birthday cards. In birthday cards, they're like, there's either cash itself or the gift cards, or it has been sent with like an Amazon voucher or something like that. And it's like, yes. So especially go on the hunt for these gift cards in your birthday cards.
Can I go one step further than that, Ingrid, and say, yes, we do find them in gift cards, because there's just like a psychological thing, isn't it, about the keeping the card. You kind of think, I need to remember to say thank you for that. So you always keep it together so you can remember that the two things came together and don't separate them out, which I kind of get. And then they find their way into sweet bags.
Yes.
We take the birthday cards down and we put them in a sweet bag. And that's quite often where we find these gift certificates. Or they're put on the side of a table next to your coffee table or something. You sweep that off into a sweet bag that we've spoken about many, many times on many podcasts, if you don't know what a sweet bag is. And we find them in there. That's often where we find them, right?
Yeah, or in kind of a desk or paper where paperwork collects. That's where they often are as well. But anyway, that is aside. So what do you do when you find them? You need to check the expiry date first. And in the earlier days, there was no expiry date, but shops have gotten clever, right? They normally give you like 6 months or a year now. I mean, in the past, it was like, just you can show up with a gift card. I was 10 years old. It was very handy. But nowadays, no such luck.
I remember 3 or 4 years ago, I was working for a client and I found loads and loads of paper gift vouchers, right? From, I think it was like Marks and Spencer's. Now, because those gift vouchers used to say on the back of them, no expiry, they were kind of obliged to allow you to switch them into normal gift cards for years and years. And I went, there was literally hundreds of pounds. I don't know where they'd come from, these gift vouchers. I trotted off to Marks and Spencer's for the client because she was elderly. And they were like, no, that stopped like 2 years ago. So even that is like, they must have given a warning and said, no, you can't do that anymore. Enough now. Enough of the trying to change gift vouchers from 1975 into a gift card. But I think, checking the expiry dates of them can be easier said than done. Like sometimes the only place that you can check whether or not they've expired is by going to the shop. And if we're talking about that hole in, burning a hole in your pocket scenario, that's going to encourage you perhaps to spend them earlier than you would have liked to. I think there's also, you can quite often go online and put like barcodes or QR codes or whatever you've got in the back, maybe scan them on that store's website, and sometimes that will tell you whether or not they've expired, because a lot of these gift cards you can use online as well. So I think that's a good place, but I think you need to know what you're dealing with, don't you? And then I think once you sort of do your work on the gift cards that you find, you need to make sure that you've got the correct information on them going forwards. So you might not want to choose to spend them that day, but what do you do so that if you come back to them in 6 months' time, you don't have to go through the same process again?
Yeah. So I think definitely see if you can make some notes, maybe with a Sharpie or something on the card itself, and maybe jot down the expiry date and maybe jot down even the amount if you were able to figure that out. Or if there's a separate receipt that goes with that card, you can still, I think, with a Sharpie write it down as well on the card, because I think that will make you feel more in control about the dates and things and the amount of money you have. And of course, I think if you've got £1.20 on a gift card is less urgent than if you've got a 50 or 60 pound gift card. You know what I mean? So you really want to kind of, not that we say, oh, just fritter away the £1.20. Absolutely not. But there is, I think, hierarchy in the amount of money that is on a gift card and how much effort you need to do to actually get there. Because if a shop is like tricky to get to, I would focus on the £75 gift card and not on the £1.20 gift card, if you know what I mean.
I would still be obsessed by the £1.20 gift card though. I would literally, I would be obsessed by spending the £1.20.
I know.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
It's weird, isn't it? It is weird. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like there's a weird psychology around gift cards. I'm not going to lie. You know, something else that makes it tricky sometimes, Ingrid, is that if you buy a gift card for somebody, it comes with like the actual credit card bit of it on a kind of card, like a birthday card or a wedding card or whatever. And then they give you as the gift voucher buyer, let's call it the gift card buyer, a kind of receipt. And sometimes that receipt doesn't find its way in the gift card to the person that's getting it. So sometimes you might get a gift card off somebody and you don't know whether it's £20 or £50 or £100 or £10 or £1.20. Do you know what I mean? So that also adds to the problem. So sometimes it's a nice surprise when you go, I don't know how much, money is on this gift card from Auntie Lena or whatever.
Yeah. You know what, Leslie? I think so many people must not spend their gift cards. The shops must be laughing. Because they must hand out tons and tons of gift cards, knowing that there are loads of people that forget that they have them, don't spend the money. No wonder they want us to put stuff on gift cards, really.
You know, if there's nothing else that you get from this podcast, it's spend some time this weekend looking for gift cards, because it's the kind of thing that drives me and Ingrid insane when we're working with clients, because we're like, you've got all this money here, do you know what I mean? And you need to make sure that you gather it together and put it into some kind of usable format.
Yeah.
Don't just fritter money away, because we're really careful with a lot of other things, but we find a lot of times that people are not careful with gift cards. And that's the reason why we wanted to talk about it. And I bet loads of you are like, this is nonsense. I wouldn't even worry about a gift card. I'll just spend it within 5 days of getting it, sort of thing. And then there are other people who are like, yeah, I've probably got them hanging around everywhere in the house. And it's probably you that this podcast is for. So we talked about trying to get the right information about the gift card, maybe writing some stuff on the gift card once you've done that, your work on that. And then how do we get them to a point of actually spending them, Ingrid?
Well, I would probably say have some sort of dedicated wallet for them, or a little purse or something like that, where the gift cards can live together with the information that you need. And make sure, of course, then when you go shopping, you take it with you. So don't forget that. So I think that's kind of the more traditional way, right, of having really the hard copy gift card in your purse or wallet. And remembering then, of course, that you've got that gift card. So how many times have we gotten into a shop, and then, oh, we had a gift card for that, we forgot about it. That happens as well. So yeah, make sure that you kind of get a little system going. And I'm assuming people do not have 65 gift cards. You're probably talking, a handful of gift cards. So you can probably fit them easily in your handbag or your purse or your wallet.
Yeah, I think that's the important thing, is you need to have them available when you have the opportunity to spend them. So I suppose what we're trying to say is you can go one of two ways. You can know beforehand, I've got a £50 gift card that I want to spend, and go out and treat yourself. Or you can go down that, I'm buying this dress anyway, and wouldn't it be lovely to buy it with the gift card that I was given for Christmas or for my birthday or something. I tend to go towards the latter, because I don't really... when I shop, I typically shop intentionally. So I shop for things that I need rather than going out just to buy something just because. Mm-hmm. And so that would mean that I would need it in my wallet when there was opportunity to spend it in that shop.
Yeah, excellent. Now, another way as well, there are, of course, ways now to use your digital wallet on your phone, like Apple Pay or Google Pay. And we have found out you absolutely can put your gift cards in your wallet, right, Leslie? So if you're interested in that, have a little Google on how to do that. But it should be possible to add your gift cards to your wallet.
And I didn't know that.
Me neither. No.
So we should have done it perhaps as part of our preparation for this. Have you got a gift card?
No, of course not.
So it would have been down to me to try and add my 77 gift cards to to my Apple Pay, to my Apple Wallet. So no, I haven't got. I've got like two. I have got one for £1.20 from B&Q. Do you know what I mean? Which I'm like, I have to go to B&Q and spend my £1.20 and get my money's worth. I am not allowing B&Q to have that £1.20 that's owed to me. So I think that was like a sort of refund or something. So yeah. Anyway, so gift cards sounds like a strange one, unusual one to discuss, but in our opinion, important to get on top of. And you need to have a system going so that you've got the right gift cards at the right time for when you need them.
Well, I love it, Leslie, because, these are the things when you get more organized, these are the things you can find a home for, and then you can make the money go to good use instead of having it expired or lose it. So yeah, it makes me happy. But
you do know, Ingrid, what you're going to get for your 50th birthday now.
You're probably going to end up giving me a gift card so I cannot spend it on any essentials, but I have to buy something nice.
No, I'm going to give you the £1.20 gift card from B&Q. That's what I'm going to do. But actually, before we go, one of the things that you can do that we didn't talk about is you can sell gift cards online.
Oh.
I don't know whether it's actually legal. I'm not sure whether it is. But you see people who will sell like £50 gift cards for places that they know they're not going to shop for on eBay for £45.
Interesting.
That's the thing. And it might not be legal, so don't shoot the messenger. But I've definitely seen that going on, legal or illegal, I'm not sure. But anyway, I've enjoyed a little foray into gift cards, Ingrid.
I have too. So thank you so much, listeners. And let us know in the comments under this podcast if you ever have found a gift card and that you were pleasantly surprised or you were absolutely distraught because it was expired. We would love to know. And share your stories with us. We always love receiving emails and comments to our podcast. So thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks so much for listening to the Declutter Hub podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to us in your podcast player so you don't miss an episode, and we'll see you next week.